AJ Live. I'm your host, Chef AJ, and this is where I introduce you to amazing people just like you who are doing great things in the world that I think you should know about. Sincerely apologize for starting late today, but we have a very special guest who's doing a live cooking demo from my house. Don't worry, we are social distancing. I'm in another room. He's in another room. He's a very accomplished, famous chef in the plant-based world, especially in the SOS-free plant-based world. He's been on the show before, but never like this. He is doing a live Iron Chef competition. Well, it's not so much of a competition because he's competing against himself, but we're running it very much like we have run them before. So if you're familiar with our work, we have done these Iron Chefs for many years at the Holiday Cooking Extravaganza at True North. And the way they work is that, of course, there's a pantry like there is on any cooking show where, the staples that hopefully you have in your house, maybe onion and garlic and, spices, hopefully you have some food in your house. But there are 3 ingredients chosen for each round. There's a savory round and a sweet round. We don't call it entree or salad or appetizer or even dessert. The idea is that all right, Susan's in the house. I'm so glad you can be here. One round is based on more savory type flavors, and one is based on more sweet flavors. So the chef can decide if it's going to be a dessert or it could be a salad, could be for the sweet round. Appetizers can be sweet or savory. So that's the idea. When in the traditional Iron Chef competition, we had 20 minutes to get each round done. We could go a little longer here because we are going to be conversing with Chef Bravo. So the reason we're doing this is really just to show you that you can cook. You guys can cook at home, especially this time when we're really not going out to restaurants. We need to start embracing cooking. It doesn't have to be that hard. And we know it doesn't have to be that hard because Chef Bravo has created an amazing cooking course for less than the cost of going to a movie. It's the Bravo PB cooking course. I'll provide links to it. He actually just filmed his second course. The first one was basic techniques for plant-based cooking. The new one is advanced techniques. And he was really literally driving by my home to get home to his home. So I said, you got to stop by and see my new house. So what we've done is instead of making it very complicated ingredients, which they often do in an Iron Chef or a Chopped, Ramses and I competed once in a vegan Iron Chef in San Francisco, and they gave us very weird ingredients like that I never heard of, like it was some kind of this weird breadcrumb, and one was chrysanthemum leaves. I didn't even hear of these things. We're not trying to make it difficult. We're trying to find things. You get home from work late. This is all you have in your house, in your pantry. You can make a meal. And so I actually did not go to the store for this. That's why you'll see he's only got a half an onion at his disposal. I literally pulled things out of my refrigerator and that I eat on a regular basis, and a couple of things out of the freezer. And now he's going to make a delicious meal from it. And of course, he has access to anything else he wants to use, either in my pantry or my refrigerator. But the 3 items that are in the savory bowl and that are in the sweet bowl must be used in some significant way. So for example, if spinach was an ingredient or cilantro was an ingredient, he couldn't just use it as a garnish. He's very, very good at this. He's done it before. We've competed several times as a team and against each other. And what's interesting is most of the time he wins the savory round, I win the sweet round. And then one time it was reversed and we're both looking at each other like, how the hell did that happen? But some of our best recipes have come from it. Even in my cookbook, The Secrets to Ultimate Weight Loss, one of my recipes is a burger that he actually created in an Iron Chef. He's done a lot of these with my other favorite chef, Chef Eric Lechasseur. Those two are absolutely great together. So he'll be talking about his process. Believe me, I know I'm talking a lot now, but once he starts, the show is all his. He is an amazing chef. Please welcome to my kitchen, Chef Ramses Bravo.
Hi, AJ. How are you?
It's so great seeing you, even if you're only in another room. I'm so thrilled for you to be doing this. I know we're going to learn so much.
Thank you. And I'll take the fault for starting late. It took me longer than I expected to get here from where I was. I'm not used to the area. It's a beautiful drive. But you know how when you don't know the roads, you don't go as fast. So it's my fault that we're starting late. But I'm happy to be here. Chef AJ's got a great kitchen, a beautiful home. It's the first time I ever visit her here. And it just coincided with the project that I just finished, filming my second online cooking course. And so here I am. She's got this 2 mystery boxes here that I will assure you I have no idea what's in them. She was very adamant about the fact that I was not going to see until I opened them. And so here we go. All right. Do you want to say anything else, AJ,
oh no,
before I get started?
are you kidding? I'm just like, I'm an excited guest on this one. Unless you need me, I'm going to be here watching. And then if there's questions, I'll feed them to you.
Okay. Again, first time I've ever cooked in AJ's kitchen. So, you know, if I need to say, hey, where do I find, you know, this tool or that, you know, I might turn it over to you so you can sort of tell me, go right, go left, up, down, kind of a thing. Okay. So I'm going to do this one at a time. I'm just going to open them both up. And let's see, this must be the sweet one. I have some oats, I have bananas, and I have blueberries. So that's obviously the sweet one. I'm very tempted to making oatmeal, but I'm going to try to do, you know, like just breakfast oatmeal. I will try to do something other than that. And let's see, she has here mashed sweet potatoes, which they feel still a little bit frozen, so we'll work on that. Fire roasted sweet potatoes.
Yeah, I figured you could use either or both because it didn't. Neither bag seemed like enough.
Okay. Yeah, this kind of feels like the same thing, so to speak. And we have here a turnip and arugula, baby arugula. Okay. I'm going to go with the savory first, just because, again, I'm so tempted to just make oatmeal. And I'd like to do something other than just oatmeal. So while I'm cooking the savory, I'm going to let the wheels turn. The first thing I'm going to do, this is the one thing I was able to set up. She's got the pantry sort of off to the side. And she kind of told me if on the left, you'll find this, on the right, you'll find that. She's got the Vitamix and the food processor here. So I was able to get my cutting board and a knife. But the first thing I'm going to do, and just to add a little value, I've got here a paper towel, which I'm going to get a little bit wet. And then I'm going to put it right underneath the cutting board. And this is to prevent the cutting board from sliding all over the place. So
that's a good tip right there.
Cutting board. And now it's set. It's right there.
Just okay. So you know, you might have to turn the camera a little because we can't see the cutting board at this moment.
Okay. So see how it's hard to do that. If I don't have it, like right away. So this is definitely for safety, because you have a knife in your hand and you're chopping, and you don't want the cutting board to be moving around when you have a knife, you know, sort of up and down. Okay. So what I think you guys would find most useful is not me just sort of jumping into the pan and just starting. So it's more of the thought process. So right away, the moment I open this thing, I'm thinking I have something that's sweet here with the fire roasted sweet potatoes. And I have something that's bitter in the arugula. And right away, I know that this is gonna be somewhat good, because I have a contrast not only between the two flavor profiles, the sweet and the bitter, but also the color. So this is, I'm gonna guess, most likely orange-ish color once I open the bag. And then we have a nice bright green here. And then we have a turnip, which has this sort of it's a root vegetable. It's really nice and white, but it has this sort of slightly bitter, sort of astringent kind of flavor. Okay, so I'm gonna choose to go with the roasted sweet potatoes, and leave the puree here to the side. Since you allowed me to choose one or the other.
Is that a puree, the other bag, Ramses, or is it actually chunks? I wasn't sure.
It says mashed. It says mashed, and the picture shows as being sort of a mashed potato thing. It just feels like it's in chunks because it's still frozen. So that'd be my guess. Oh, but since you allow me to use one or the other, I'm gonna go with the fire roasted one. Okay. So now, since we don't have to call this specifically appetizer, entree kind of a thing, I'm trying to think. I know I have onion, and I'm thinking I want to bring sort of a sour component to this. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start peeling the turnip. So I cut the top and bottom. And then I just follow the shape of the turnip. We'll see how this goes. Now, I know you gave me a half an onion that I saw in the pantry section, but it's a red onion. Might there be a yellow or a white onion around?
Yes, if you look behind you, there's a clear dish with a yellow onion in it. It's where the potatoes are. Let's see. It's to your left, to your left.
To my left. Oh, okay. I see it. Okay, great. So the reason I asked her that is because I'm going to try to get this into a puree. So it'll be like a turnip puree. And if I use a red onion, my white puree, which is what I'm going for, is going to start picking up a little bit of like a reddish hue. So I don't want that. I want it to be really nice and white. So therefore, I'm only going to use about half of this. So therefore, a yellow or white onion would be a lot easier or better for me. Again, because the goal is to keep the puree nice and white. So here we go. And I'm not going to make this too complicated. Again, to me, the most value for you in something like this is the thought process as to why I'm using the ingredients in the way that I'm doing, rather than to come up with all these different components to the dish. So I'm just dicing that half of white onion that I got. So now I have that. I'm also dicing the turnip. And a raw turnip has this sort of a strong aroma and flavor to it. Once you cook it, it mellows out and it starts to pick up more of a sweeter kind of tone to it. So there we go.
You know, Ramses, the first time I tasted turnips, I was at Rancho La Puerta, and I didn't know what they were turnips because some of the turnips have a lot of purple on them, you know, and they were steamed and they were on the salad bar, and I thought they were potatoes, you know, because they often have steamed potatoes, and I'm like, these are really weird potatoes. They're really good. And then they told me they were turnips, and I think turnips are delicious. And so many people turn their nose up at turnips or rutabaga, but they are so delicious. They're delicious steamed. They're delicious pureed. They're amazing air fried. I wish more people would look into the root vegetables because they're so hardy.
I really like rutabagas. I love turnips too, but I really love rutabagas. They have a really nice nutty taste to it when you cook it, and it's got this nice yellow color to it. But we're gonna make something good here with the turnip. So I have that. I think you set some garlic here for me as well.
Yes. And you know, rutabagas, Ramses, I've taken large rutabagas and cut them into fry shape and air fried them, and people didn't know they weren't eating French fries.
Oh, I could see that. Yeah, I could see that. So I'm taking a couple of garlic cloves just to make sure we have a depth of flavor in here.
Leslie says, I just made your French toast today, Ramses.
Oh, did it turn out good?
Well, she had 5 hearts. And yeah, and please don't make oatmeal for dessert because we have oatmeal every day here. So it's like, well, Charles does. And it's like, I can make oatmeal, but maybe you can think of something else because you've got some dates you can use as well and other fruits that I left for you as well as.
I'll see what we have. How is Charles these days?
He's good. He's good. He helps me so much People don't realize that we're both introverts. So the pandemic hasn't had the same effect on us emotionally as other people because we're kind of homebodies anyway. So
Okay, good for
yeah,
you guys.
yeah. But
Okay.
he loves living here though. So
All right. So I have all the ingredients here in the saute pan here. And so now I'm going to put it here on the stove. And I gotta get familiar here with your stove.
it is a gas stove for a change. When you visited me in my home in Sherman Oaks, it was electric.
Yeah, okay. All right, so now I know how to turn that on. Might there be some broth? Like a
I
vegetable
don't,
broth?
I'm so sorry. I don't have, I don't have broth, but how about water?
Okay, I'll use a little water. And she's got all these, I know you love this company. I love it too. California Balsamic. So I'm looking for white balsamic.
I don't know if I
Uh,
have a plain white balsamic anymore. Uh,
Let
Thomas,
me
if you're
see.
watching, hint, hint. But the thing is he wouldn't be able to get it to us in time for the show. I'm trying to think if I have a white. I've got the lavender in white. I've got the Italian that's
Yeah,
white.
I got this pear balsamic one. This will
Oh,
work.
that
Okay.
sounds amazing, actually.
All right. I'm assuming the water is good right at the tap here?
Yes, it's fine.
Yeah? Oh, okay. Okay. So I am going to, I often talk about making sure your veggies don't touch the water so that you don't lose the flavor to the water. In this case, however, it will not be that bad of a thing because whatever flavor goes into the liquid, all of it is going to go into the Vitamix. So I got just enough water in here to sort of poach these things here, just to get them soft enough. I don't want to saute them at all because, again, the point that what I want to the end result to be is this really nice white puree happening. So I'm going to cook that. We're going to add some of this nice balsamic, pear balsamic vinegar at the blender. And so I might actually bring it back this way. Put it right there next to it. And let's see. I want to see what these look like. Okay, so these ones are still somewhat frozen. Yeah, this will work. Okay, I'm just going to open some things here. I'm looking for a bowl of some sort. Oh, plates. Yeah, we'll need plates too. While I'm here, we'll get a couple of plates so that once the dishes are done. Okay. How about this, AJ? Where would I find a bowl to defrost the potatoes here a little bit?
Okay, so I would go as you were standing at the sink, go to the right.
I'm right in front of the stove right now.
Okay, so a bowl would be go to the sink.
Go to the sink.
Yeah, okay. and then go to the right, the middle drawer on the right. There should be some Tupperware bowls in there. Do you see any in the middle drawer?
I see a hand blender in a pot.
Oh boy, I think I might have been. Okay, so where else do we have bowls?
Okay, just a bowl, like a cereal bowl.
Oh, go in the dishwasher because they're clean. There'll be bowls in there.
Ah, okay, perfect. All right. So all I'm trying to do is just to sort of defrost these a little bit. We obviously don't want to serve any frozen items here to anyone. I'm relying on the fact that these sweet potatoes, as the package said, is a fire roasted sweet potatoes. So I am assuming that there has been some sort of grilling, roasting kind of thing. I could see a little bit of black marks on them. And I'm also assuming that when that happened, some of the water content in the sweet potatoes was evaporated. So the flavor is already somewhat concentrated. So let's see. I'm just gonna say, I'm gonna go 30 seconds and check them out to see where they are. All I'm trying to do is to defrost them. That's all. In the meantime,
Nadej says she loves Chef Ramses.
Who said that?
Nadej, she's lovely. She's one of the regulars on the show, one of my Zoommunity.
I saw she's got this thing in the pantry. I'm gonna choose to add one of these to the turnips. I'm not going to blend it along with the rest of the stuff. I just love kefir lime leaves.
Jesse says I should consider barring all the doors and the windows and keeping Chef Bravo permanently as my guest. If he'll cook for me, I will. I think about that movie Misery, remember, with Kathy Bates? Maybe I could do that to you. But what would his daughter do? She needs him.
So I'm adding a couple of those leaves just to get sort of another layer of flavor. Again, I'm going to take it out before I blend it, because if I blend it in there, then it's going to start picking up a little bit of a green hue to it. And I don't want that. I just want the nice, clean white puree. Okay.
We know that kefir lime leaves are not something that most people have in their pantry, but it's something I've had a long time because Toby and Roseanne brought me them from Singapore, and I honestly have not known what to do with them.
They have this really nice lime flavor without the sourness to it, which is really nice. And just as an FYI, my purveyor switched I don't know if it's the growers or whatever it is. Kefir is sort of a derogatory name in some cultures, like in I think South Africa thing. I can't remember. But nowadays you can find them as mac-root lime leaves. I don't even know what kefir means, if you use it in that way. But you don't find them labeled as that much more anymore.
Ramses, I know that right now you're not doing this quote as a competition because you're the only chef and we're not timing it. But what do you think, especially since we have no idea how long this pandemic is going to go on for, if we actually did this as an Iron Chef? Because yesterday I had Kathy Hester on and she was watching live. What we could do is, like, maybe I could tell Marie, because you're a true north, so you have everything you want. And maybe I could tell Mauricio the 3 ingredients, and then I could tell Kathy's wife the 3 ingredients, and we could actually do this with both of you at the same time. What do you think? Because Kathy's done Iron Chefs as well.
So that's not a bad idea. Yeah. It's another thing on my long list of to-dos, but sure. Okay. So I pulse this for 30 seconds 3 times. So now I feel that they're defrosted, which is all I'm looking for. And so I'm going to come back. And now I'm actually going to use the same bowl as sort of the mixing bowl. Okay. So let me think. I got to check the pantry here real quick and see what else.
Sure thing. And I'll just read a couple of the nice comments. Lisa says, I'm definitely starstruck seeing Ramses after buying his cookbook years ago. And guys, if you're not familiar with his course, Plant-Based Bravo, I'll keep posting the link to his website. It's $20. And it's honestly, it should have been a $300 course. I don't know how he did it, but it's an amazing course for not just the beginning chef, but even people that have cooked for a long time, because he really talks about technique and he just really breaks it down in just a wonderful way. So yeah, we have great chefs on this show. Like Kathy yesterday, she was rolling her own sushi. We have Ramses today. We've got Robert Cheek coming up at 2 doing a functional fitness class. And let's see. Oh my God, tomorrow we're broadcasting live from Mexico if the internet works. Chef Reina.
Oh, wow.
She is the executive. I'm having Chef Reina, the executive chef at Rancho La Puerta. She's a big deal. She's very shy and sweet, but she's an amazing chef.
All right, that sounds good. Okay, so again, I'm thinking very simple. Once I have my puree on the plate, I am just going to set this down sort of as a salad between the sweet potatoes and the arugula. It doesn't have to be fancy. Now the trick then is to get enough flavor in here. And so what I saw that you have is this really cool thing that I've had before is everything bagel. So like all the spices to everything bagel, which includes like sesame seeds, and onion and garlic, poppy seeds, and whatnot. So I'm gonna add a little bit of that to it. And I see that you have some freeze-dried chives. If I can open the, there we go. Okay. So a little bit of that. So I'm adding a layer of onion, which is a very subtle flavor, delicate. Give them a try. Okay, that's good. If you had some fresh onions, there is no fresh herbs here necessarily. So I found some chives, but if you had some fresh chives, some basil, some tarragon, all of that would work. One of my favorite, most underrated spices that I use, and underrated because you don't see this being used very much, is celery seeds. They have this sort of zing to them that I really enjoy. So I'm gonna add a little bit of that to the salad. And now I'm gonna check on my puree. I would imagine that the turnips are done by now. Oh, most definitely. Actually, the water's completely gone. And I was able to see that you actually have a little bit of almond milk.
Yeah, I bought the brand that, you know, I've been learning so much, Ramses, from hosting the GI Health Summit. And the way these doctors talk about these additives that they put in plant milks, like the carrageenan and these emulsifiers, they may be okay for some people, but people with gut issues, they are not okay at all for. And so I've now switched to buying only clean milks that have one ingredient plus water. So like soy milk, you know, soybeans plus water, almonds plus water, oats plus water. And that they're maybe a little bit more expensive. And sometimes you have to find them in the refrigerator section. But guys, if you have gut issues, don't be buying those milks. They might be delicious with all the vanilla and that stuff, but you really want to stay away from carrageenan and emulsifiers and all those additives if you are
Yeah, it's
somebody
the
that has.
emulsifiers that'll get you. It's hard to find like clean products, but when you do, you know, stick with that. Okay. So as I'm trying to explain too many things, I'll show you. My goal again was to get it really nice and keep it really nice and white. But as I was talking too much, I started to develop a little bit of browning around the edges. So make sure that's off. So this may not be as white as I intended it to be. But again, if you're doing this at home and you're not trying to describe the whole process, then you won't have the issue. Okay, so let's see. There we go. So I added just a little bit of liquid. I can always add more, but if it gets too runny, I can't take it out. So all right. I'd like to give Joe, my camera guy here, a round of applause for following me around.
Yeah, Ramses travels with his own cameraman, so very easy.
Okay, so I think you mentioned spoons. Did I see spoons over here somewhere?
Yep.
Yeah, here we go. Spoons. Where did you get these?
I got them as a gift. Well, you know, when I moved into my new home, Tammy and Tom Kramer gave me an Amazon gift card and I selected those. I just thought they were so beautiful.
So you get a gift card, and the first thing that comes to mind is psychedelic spoons.
Absolutely. Anything in purple. Everything tastes better in purple. Ramses, Sarah has a question about your course. Is the delivery of the material done live or shared in videos we can watch on our own? I'm in Germany and it's about time to go to bed.
Okay, so when you sign up, you're at the website, bravopb.com, and you click on courses. Right now, there is the basic techniques to plant-based cooking. I just got done yesterday, literally filming the second one. It's going to take a couple months to go on there, but if you click on the courses page, then you'll see the window that says sign up, and you follow that, and then you put your name and your information. And after that, once you pay for it, anytime you want to get to it, you go back to the page, bravopb.com, and then you click on My Courses, and then it'll take you to a window where you log in using your email as your username, and then whatever password you set up. After that, you'll see the list of all the videos there, and you can click on any of them. You don't have to watch them in order. And you can watch any of them as many times as you want. It's a one-time payment, lifetime access. So if you want to watch the entire course every single day, that's fine. If you want to watch one video every week and go at a slower pace, totally okay.
You know, I am in the room that is absolutely farthest away from the kitchen and it still smells incredible in here. So I can only imagine what it smells like in the actual kitchen.
All right. So I got a nice thing here. So I'll show you what it looks like. Let's see if the camera can pick it up here. Joe, help me out. Okay. So I got this. I was able to get a nice, you know what? Well, actually, I was going to use that balsamic as part of the blending here, but I'm going to actually now use it as the dressing for the salad. And so I'm going to get this nice amount of puree here. And you were mentioning earlier, sometimes when you do these sort of Iron Chef / mystery basket things, you come up with like the coolest ideas. A lot of times, whatever I come up with the first time, I just think, you know what? I should have done this and that instead. Sometimes I rework these dishes until I get it just right. So I can envision myself doing something very similar to that. Matter of fact,
Ramses,
one of those. Go
some
ahead,
of my
AJ.
Oh, I'm so sorry to interrupt. Some of my best recipes and recipes in the cookbook have come from the Iron Chefs we've done together, like the mango tort and the berrylicious tort and the McDougall Goldhammer cauliflower sweet potato stacks. You know, I always worried when I competed against you that you had an unfair advantage, only because the celebrity judges were like your coworkers. You know, it was Dr. Goldhammer, Kathy Fisher, you know, Katie May, you know, Jill Nussino was a guest once. It was always the Santa Rosa people. So I'm thinking like, he's always going to win. And then I'll never forget my favorite one. Do you remember the one we did where Mary McDougall was a judge and Dr. John McDougall came? That was the funnest one. When people heard that Dr. McDougall were coming, the both McDougalls were coming, they had to actually move it from inside the dining room
to outside,
because there was over 100 people that came. I think that is on the my YouTube channel somewhere. I think we filmed it. That was the funnest time. I think that was like my favorite ever.
Okay. So I just want to get a nice little mount of the potatoes here with the arugula.
Oh my God, that looks like a restaurant meal. Well, you were a restaurant chef or a spa chef, same thing, basically.
Yeah, I've worked in many restaurants in my life. Okay, so now I'll make sure that there's enough of this on there, just a little extra. And I want to give the plate a few specks. Again, one of the most underrated things you can use is celery seeds. All right, put those back. And maybe just another squeeze of this little seasoning thing that you have just on the top of the, there you go, just like that, just on top of the salad. And here you go. Lo and behold, I don't know what we're going to call this. We're going to call this fire roasted. We'll call it. I don't want the title to get too long, so we'll call it a roasted sweet potato and arugula salad over a turnip and white balsamic puree.
Oh my God. Unbelievable. Oh my God. I'm voting for you. Even though you're the only one, I'm voting for you. That is amazing. Hey, guys, Robert Cheek is in the house, and he'll be joining us live today at 2, showing us what functional fitness is. Robert will put the fun in functional fitness. I call Robert the Mr. Rogers of the plant-based world.
All right. So I'm going to close this up.
Annette's saying, let me just tell you what Annette says. Wow, he just came up with that. Amazing.
Well, sometimes that's why I like doing these things, not because, and it's so much easier and such less pressure when it's just me and I'm just, telling people the thought process. But when you do something like this and it is a 20-minute thing, you're under such pressure that you're like moving too fast, and sometimes you overthink things. You double guess yourself. So I'm actually pretty happy with what I came up with, just because I'm able to just think about it more and talk about it, and rather than to have this race against the clock. But yeah, sometimes you get the best ideas, because I normally would not be thinking turnips and sweet potatoes, but when they're in front of you, then you can let your instincts sort of take over, and then you get creative with it. So yeah, I like that. It was good. I might have to
put it in your next book or next course.
Yeah, I might. I want
See, Ramses, I'm your muse, because that's how we got the Bravo Burger too. When you competed against Chef Eric.
Exactly. That Bravo Burger came from that.
You were given 3 ingredients. You were given a sweet potato, you were given white beans, and I can't remember what the third was. Probably some kind of an herb. And
I think it was saffron.
You came up with a great burger.
Okay. Still fighting the instinct to make oatmeal hair.
No.
Okay, let me see. You said you had some dates around here
somewhere? I put pitted medjool dates in the pantry for you.
Okay. Tell you what, next to it, I saw some sun-dried tomatoes. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna bring those along.
Sun-dried tomatoes in a dessert?
Why not?
Wow.
Let's see what I come up with.
That's
There's some coconut flakes here. Let me think. What else do you have around here? What else can I use?
I do have other dried fruits in the pantry, like kiwi, apricot, and peach, and even some dried mangoes. It's very hard now, but I do have dried mango.
Look, I'm looking at an apple here and some dried nectarines.
And we also have some cherries and some pineapple in the refrigerator.
Okay. All right. Let me. Okay, now let me think. What am I going to do here? I am going to use the food processor. Okay, here's what we're going to do. I was thinking give me like 2 minutes just to clean out the Vitamix. Where do I find a little container? I don't want to throw this away.
Let's see. Okay, go. Why don't you put something in the dishwasher? It will be clean. There's some dishes in the dishwasher that are clean, so maybe use one of those. So guys, are you enjoying this kind of episode? Because, I have lots of chefs scheduled. The first time they come on the show, I don't want to put them on the spot like this. And many of the chefs that come on like to come on every month. But when they get more comfortable, this could be a really fun thing if you guys are enjoying this feature. So let me know. Let's see if there's any questions that I'm missing. So
I know that you get a huge following to your channel. I'm just curious as to how many people are watching right now.
Well, right now I am seeing 328. We had our all-time high though on Tuesday for Dr. McDougall. We had over 1,000.
Nice.
Yeah. It could be that we started a little late, but also realize that, this is why we love you guys to share and to subscribe on YouTube. But, we get a lot of replays too. So don't worry, even if people aren't watching live, they'll watch the replay. And especially because I'm in touch with the True North person now that does your newsletter. And he said he would make sure that he would start sending these out and posting them on the True North Facebook page. And I can give it to you as well, Ramses, if you have a YouTube page, I can just give you the download. So if you want your people to see this too. People are saying,
I have a YouTube channel, Bravo Plant Based.
Yeah, the people are loving it. Sherry says it's lots of fun. And Gina says it's fun, but she really wants Chef Bravo every month. And Laurel says, this is great to watch. Janet says it's fun. Yeah, like, I wish I had an assistant, because I'd love to keep a running list of all the guests on the show, because most of them do ask to come back, which is why I'm booking now all the way into January, because it's try to get the new people in that want to come in, but especially the chefs like coming back. And the chefs ones are actually a lot easier for me, because I just have to watch. Whereas when it's a doctor or somebody I don't know, I have to take the time to read their book. Well, I don't have to, but I prefer to, and listen to every single podcast they've ever done before the interview, so I don't look like a total dum-dum, Yeah.
That's a lot of research, because I know you do these twice a day.
Well, actually, I'm down to one a day, but every now and then we still have a double schedule. But yeah, I don't know, I'm close to 200 shows. So yeah.
Nice. Okay. All right. So where can I find a small pot?
Okay. So to your left hand, and go to below the drawer, open the cabinet on the left, and you should see one kind of hanging out. You see it?
Okay. I see it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, here's what we're gonna do. I am going to start with quote unquote the sauce first. Get some blueberries in here. So that uses up one of the ingredients. So, Joe, here we go. We got some blueberries in there. I'm going to put this off to the side because it's probably blocking here what I'm doing. We're going to grab one date here.
Speaking of dates, Ramses, not to put you on the spot, but I have a little bit of a side job as matchmaking people in the plant-based world. I'm responsible for the union of Dr. Michael Greger and Dr. Jen Hawk, which we had to keep.
I saw that on the program that you
I know.
had.
I had to keep. I'm like the only one who knew for months. Dr. Lyle didn't even know, but and then I've got another doctor that I'm hooking up right now. So you don't have to say this out loud, but if you are looking, I know that you're a little bit of an introvert. I can do what I do to get the people, I have them submit things to me, and then using my intuition and astrology, I see if they're appropriate for you. So let me know if you
could, let me say this the right way. I would be like in awe if you could match someone like me with somebody, like not because it's me, but because of my personality type, because I'm very introverted. It'd be like, oh my gosh, she really does have a skill on this.
Yeah. So, may I ask your age, just so that we get age appropriate for you?
40. How old am I? 42. Forget. Right. I think once you get past 40, you're like, let me think about that. Yeah, 42.
Okay, so ladies, you know what to do. Contact us through our website. If you are interested, please send me a picture, your age, and I'll take it from there. I've been having some very good, not that I have time for this second job, but I like to see awesome people that are plant-based with other awesome people that are plant-based. If astrology is as important to you as it is to me, I can tell you that Ramses is a Capricorn. That means he is very, very hardworking and very family-oriented.
Okay, I don't know if you caught me doing this. I put essentially a pinch of, Joe, you can help me out here. I put that much sun-dried tomatoes in with the date and the blueberry in here.
I would never, ever think of putting sun-dried tomatoes in a dessert, but tomatoes are a fruit.
Right. Well, what I'm thinking is I always, when I think of desserts, people automatically assume like sweet, all sweet, and you still have to have flavor contrast in there. You have to have something to bounce off that sweetness. Otherwise, it's just too much. it becomes overwhelming. I sneaked in your refrigerator real quick to get a little bit of apple juice. So that's going in. So I'm basically making a sauce here. A blueberry and sun-dried tomato sauce. That's gonna go on the stove. And I'm gonna choose a smaller burner here. Otherwise I know that'll burn off really quick. Let me see.
Sarah says you're a hottie with a great heart. So let's see that picture, Sarah. Some of the people are saying they're sorry, but they're taken or they're too old, but we'll get you somebody.
Well, definitely looking for somebody age appropriate. So, right. You know, 5.
Well, how low will you go and how high will you go?
I'm in the 10-year sort of window. 5 years younger, 5 years older, maybe. No, you know, a lot of beautiful ladies out there, but
you already have kids, so you're not looking to have any more kids, are you?
No, I'm not.
So ladies, yeah.
I have my daughter, and then I have my niece and nephew, and then another little girl that are in my life. So that's, you know, I've changed enough diapers.
Right. So if you're looking to reproduce, do not submit your photo.
Okay. All right. So, you know, I'm thinking raw, obviously. Raw oats. And so I'm putting, what is this? A half a cup?
Yeah, that's a half a cup measure.
1 cup of oats in the food processor. I'm going to go let's see. Oh, these are really crunchy.
They're from Costco.
Just a pinch of the dried nectarines. They're not dry though. They're like puffed. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so that goes in. We had bananas that I had to use. So I'm gonna go 1 banana here. So for those of you who love recipes, which I don't, I'm gonna go 1 cup of oats, 1 banana. I'm taking out this one little piece that's all dark. Now, I'm gonna give the food processor a chance to tell me how much. It's this way. All right, let me move the savory spices here out of the way. And we have, let's see, pulse. This is obviously too dry. I don't know how much moisture I'm going to need until I pulse this a little bit and I test it. Okay, so it's got this very sort of sticky. You know, it's actually not that far. I'm actually not going to add any moisture. I think I'm gonna let the banana just carry me through. So I'm gonna pulse this pretty well. Let's see, low. I'm trying to make a paste, essentially. And let's see what it looks like. Oh yeah, it's definitely pasty. So here's my thought process. You know, obviously I have to use the oatmeal. I don't want to, the oats, I don't want to make oatmeal. I had to use the banana, and I'm thinking more like a raw bar kind of a thing. And the reason I added those nectarines in there was because I don't want this to be a just sort of a chewy texture. I wanted to have a little bit of crunch in there. Gonna taste it. That's good. I like that. I'm gonna check on my sauce here real quick, which still needs to, I could actually turn the heat up higher a little bit more. Okay. So I don't want to add any more oats, but I do need a little bit more texture here. So you know what? I'm just gonna add a little bit more of these nectarines. They're good.
Hey, we're almost at 400. If a few more people share, we could get you a nice audience.
Say again?
We're almost at 400.
And what happens at 400?
Nothing. I'm just saying we're almost at 400 people watching live. See, people are watching on 5 different platforms. So a lot of times they'll think the number is lower, but I see all 5 places. So that's the number is.
Okay. All right.
Let's see what it's at.
Here's a helpful thing.
389.
Helpful hint.
Mm-hmm.
I am, I got the oats here blended or, pureed with all the other stuff. And I'm thinking, it's not quite as thick, it's still a little mushy. However, the oats have not absorbed the moisture yet from the banana. So if I were to just leave this here for 10 minutes, I probably will get to the right consistency that I want. So I'm going to puree more of those nectarines because they're really good. I might have to steal these, by the way, when I leave.
Yes, you may have them as long as, and Ramses is also taking my 8-quart Instant Pot with him, just so you know.
Okay. All right. So Joe, if you can capture this here. So I got this sort of thick, like this almost looks like I'm going to shape it, bake it, and turn it into like a granola bar that you find at the store, kind of a thing. So, but again, just from experience working with raw oats and something like this, I am going to tend to the sauce and I'm going to just allow this to thicken up on its own because the oats are going to absorb the moisture from the banana. In the meantime, I'm going to check my sauce.
Yeah, it's like you're making cookie dough. That's true.
Oh. All right.
Yes, I do know Jill, and I've had her on my show before. It was this live show. I'll definitely contact her.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yes, I'm giving up my 8-quart because I have more than one. I have 3. So I figure 2 8-quarts is enough for anyone, even if I ever were to have large dinner parties again, when we're able to have dinner parties. So yes, he's my brother from another mother.
That's right.
So yeah.
I just took the nutmeg from the pantry here, and I'm just going to add a touch of nutmeg into the sauce. Okay. And so.
Hey, wait, James, excuse me for 1 second. I see James Sant watching. Are you the chef, James Sant, that has come on my show that I haven't met yet, that was referred by Sherry Soria? Because I recognize the name, because he made a really great comment. He goes, yes to no recipe. Totally agree. Intuition in the kitchen, the only way to fly. That would be a great name for a book. Yes to no recipe.
Well, I always tell people that, a recipe is nothing more than just like a guideline. For example, if this was in a recipe, the thing that I'm just making, and it said a cup of oats and a banana. Well, the bananas you had here for me were pretty large. But if somebody's making it and they get a smaller banana, suddenly the proportions doesn't work. So you have to kind of see and feel and touch and taste what's going on so that you get it just right. You get the right portion size, you get the right consistency, the right texture. And so a recipe is nothing more than a guideline. It's like, if you follow this, very likely you're going to get to where you want to. But you have to sort of let your eyes and your taste buds definitely be a good source to, a good judge of what's going on. Okay. AJ, I don't know if it's the pot or the burner. I have it on high now, but it's not quite coming up to temperature.
Yeah, I've noticed that about my stove. It seems to take a long time. And I don't know if it's because the air conditioning vent is so close, but I do apologize for that.
That might be it, because I do feel the air conditioning coming down here. But it could also be the pot. So I'm going to send you a small pot.
Saucepan. Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Sauce pot.
Yeah.
Trade,
as long as we're done
for a pot.
As long as we're done by 2 p.m., because we have Robert Cheek doing a Put the Fun in Functional Fitness class. So guys,
I'll be done here pretty soon. I just want this to come to temperature. And the reason for that is the sun-drieds were pretty tough, pretty chewy. So you want any dried fruit or vegetable, if you're gonna put it in the blender, it has to soften up. Otherwise, you'll kill your blender because those blades are just not meant to chop up something that's so chewy. So now I am using, I did put some apple juice in here. So I'm thinking sweet apple juice, sweet blueberries, and it'll give me a nice, deep purple color. And then we need a little bit of tartness with that. So it's a sweet, tart kind of action going on here with the sauce, and a little bit of that nutmeg to give me a nice, well-rounded flavor. So I think we got it going on now. I'm going to go back over here and test the, yeah, see, now this has got a lot more texture to it. Okay. I'm going to, let's see, we already used the oats. I'm going to check and see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Eva says it's so much fun to cook by intuition instead of following recipes. It's the joy of cooking and baking. And yet, Ramses, the number one request is people want meal plans. How do we teach people or explain to them, especially if they don't have a cooking background like us, that you don't need recipes?
It's hard to explain, really. It's hard to explain that to people. They want directions. They want specific directions to get to a place that they're looking for. But, with cooking, it's not like Google Maps where you turn right. You don't sort of turn right. Maybe you turn left and you're still going to get there. It's kind of like, I don't have cilantro, but maybe I'll use basil instead. It's like, well, I'm supposed to turn right, but if I turn left, I'll probably still get to my destination. So it doesn't work the same. All I can say is that you have to trust your taste buds. If you follow a recipe and it's like you have everything exactly as it's stated, the exact measurements, but say you follow the exact cooking method. And when you get there, if you don't like the recipe, if you don't like the flavor of the dish, what good was it? What was the whole point? So again, taste it as you go along. Your taste buds will guide you, and something like the spiciness level of something. Not everybody likes the same level of spice. Not everybody likes the same amount of garlic in something. So, okay, as I was talking, I made this little sort of, what do we call this? A rectangle, this little bar. Because I was thinking like a granola bar kind of thing. So I made this rectangle thing, and then I rolled it around in a little bit of a coconut that you have here. So I'm going to go ahead and make another one.
You are a much better chef when I'm not competing against you. I'm just kidding. Linda Middlesworth is watching, and she says the Bravo burgers are a big hit in her house. And when she came on the show, that is what she made as her recipe.
Oh, hey, Linda. Long time no see. Okay, so I'm trying to get these to about the same size. Again, to make this just right, I would have just put this mixture off to the side and leave it for a couple hours. There we go. Yeah, just like that. Well, we'll make one more just in case. Just because once I plate, I might change my mind as to the direction of this. I'm going to check on the sauce really quick. It's going. So I'm just going to make a third one of these little bar.
Intuition.
It would be easier if I went just, roll up a ball. But I thought bars would be good in here. I'll turn this to the side, Joe, so you can.
Heidi's saying that Intuition in the Kitchen would be a great show. It'd also be a great book.
I've done cooking demonstrations where I purposely blindfold myself to try to teach that. Uh, and everybody thinks, you know, it's a great show, but that's not something that they're going to go home and do, you know, blindfold themselves. So uh, as entertainment, it worked really well, but people didn't completely buy into what I was saying. I've done that at the McDougall program and at True North, blindfold cooking. Okay, so I'm gonna grab another plate since I used that one to, as a working area kind of thing. You know what, I'm actually gonna grab a smaller one since this is dessert or, you know, sweet. I think it'll look odd in this. Okay, small one, excellent.
Thank you, Dr. Rizwan Bukhari, for watching. Yeah, we've got lots of great shows coming up, and lots of cool people. And a lot of times a guest comes from another guest. So I don't know if you guys saw the interview with Elaine Lelaine. That was one of my favorites because she's been an inspiration, her and her husband, to me for years. And she suggested I have the co-author of her book, who does these 8-minute fitness segments on. He's going to be on the day before Thanksgiving. And we have some really special shows planned for you in November. So please consider signing up for my mailing list. I'll do the link because we tell you in advance who the guest is so that you get preference on your questions. We're having a small vendor Sunday on the Sunday after Thanksgiving, where you'll be introduced to all the wonderful vendors that I love, like Dylan Holmes from Well Your World, and Thomas Allen from California Balsamic, and Nick DeVorn from Local Spicery, and Kaylin Harwell from her skincare line, and Margaret from the Body Deli. And who else do we have? I think we have 8 or 9 now. So they're going to come on for like 10 minutes each and tell you all about their holiday specials. And then on Thanksgiving, Ramses will be back. We have 8 SOS free chefs, 8 or 9, depending if Kathy Fisher is in the country, actually cooking Thanksgiving dinner. And we are going to send you the shopping list a week in advance so that you can cook along with us from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Pacific time and make the same Thanksgiving dinner that we're making.
Okay. So I'm about to make the sauce. I was holding off for you to give all the details, and I'm going to turn the Vitamix on. Okay. Now, I know from experience that blueberries have this sort of thickening effect because of the natural pectin in there. So I'm going to take this off and taste. Again, I want to see. I've never put together sun-dried tomatoes and blueberries before, so I'm just curious. But again, it's not that I've never put blueberries and sun-dried tomatoes together before, so I'm going to try it and just see if it works magically. It's the blueberries are sweet, sun-dried tomatoes are tart. I know that sweet and tart will always work. So yeah, that works.
Have you ever made anything bad though? Like, have you ever made anything that was so bad you just said yuck and you couldn't fix it?
No. I mean, maybe when I first started my cooking career, or if anything ever gets away from me and it gets to the burnt stage, burnt is burnt and you move on.
Too much salt. It's really hard to go back if you put too much salt or hot pepper in, isn't it?
Too salty, yeah.
We don't use salt, so we don't have that problem.
So in here, right away, what I get first is the sweetness. And then at the end, there's a sun-dried tomato, and it's just sort of a lingering finish, which is nice. I'm just trying to decide whether I want to put sauce down first. I think I'm going to. So I'm going to try to. Just do a nice little zigzag here. filling this. It's a lot easier with a squeeze bottle maybe, but it's okay. So now I'm gonna pick up my bars and set them like so. There we go. And then just for visual effect, where that, here we go. I'm grabbing a small sprinkle of that nutmeg. And this is just so that I can get a more appealing look. You know, you sprinkle I could do this with cinnamon too, if that's what you had left out for me, but a little bit of a nutmeg, which is one of the ingredients I use. But, you know, once the sprinkle's on there, it just looks more appetizing. Here we go. You see that, Joe?
Oh my God. Presentation is everything, isn't it?
So maybe that angle. I don't know. There we go. That looks a little bit better.
We definitely have to take pictures of this, Ramses.
Okay. I'm going to. Yeah, just got to grab my phone. And when you do something like this, real quick, you come up with something nice, take a picture, and then write a few notes on it, at least the ingredients or something. Because often we see something and we're like, oh, that was really good. And then you look at it like, I have no idea what I put in it, which is something that often happens to me. So I'm not the most diligent person about taking notes when doing something like this. But it's just a good practice to get into. So there it is. Ta-da!
Do you want to just show your dishes once again before we say goodbye?
Sure. Let me grab them both. So what do we do? We had this roasted sweet potato and arugula salad over a turnip puree. And then we have our, what do we call this? Oatmeal and apricot bars with a blueberry and sun-dried tomato sauce.
Those look absolutely amazing.
Good. All right. So we can open up for any questions that there might be.
You guys have any questions? And no, he's not going to give you the written recipes because he doesn't have them, because he just literally made that up.
I just made this. Yeah, see, you do something like this and immediately people want recipes, even though you're telling them, I'm opening up the box and I don't know what's in here. But see, people want that instant roadmap, and you know, you trust your taste buds. That's what the roadmap is.
I love it. Trust your taste buds. Well, thanks so much. This has been so much fun. We'll definitely have you back, if not before Thanksgiving, then after, because you are scheduled for Thanksgiving Day. I don't know what you're making exactly for the holidays, but I know it's some kind of a soup.
I have no idea either. You're talking about something that's so far in the future.
Right. But we do know the category, though, that's what you selected. So we're going to stick. Yeah, we are going to stick to a set. Yeah, just don't go dessert on me that day, because we've got all the other chefs scheduled. So guys, thank you so much for watching another episode of Chef AJ Live. Please come back in 1 hour when Robert Cheek is going to be doing a functional fitness class live. So you can be exercising with him, and he will be putting the fun in functional fitness. Thanks so much for doing this, Ramses. This was incredible.
My pleasure, AJ. Yeah, this was good for me too, because now I got some new ideas.
Like I said, I'm your muse. Take care, everybody. Be well.
All right.